Hello, guys and gals. This is Willow Pays. Willow's here, or you can call me Willow for short. And this is part 6 to What If Deku Had Neon. And I just did a live stream before I made this video. Y'all should join. Y'all should totally join my live streams. We all have a fun time on my live streams. If you see me live stream, just hop on there and join the you know what's the fucking call it? Just join in, join the live chat. Pretty much, it's fun. So yeah. Besides that, I got nothing to really talk about. So I'm gonna roll my intro. I'm Masha Family, and I'll see y'all in a second. Now we have a few hour time skip to the last episode to now. It has been a couple hours later, and by now Jade is confined in a holding cell, completely confined, unable to use her powers at the moment, as she's just staring down at the door that has been that's confined her in her room, and the restraints that are on her that is able to stop her from using her powers, as she is bounded with chains to lock her in place so she isn't able to move or squirm. As you just see her just on her knees, just staring down at the door. And you can see the pure fury in her eyes, the pure anguish with other emotions mixed into it. As you hear footsteps walking closer to her door. It's not just one set of footsteps, it's a couple. As we see an armored man open up the door, and we see another armored man standing beside a woman. The woman that has confined her to this place, Augustine. As we see the guard standing side by side of Augustine, while she's in the middle, looking down on Jade, as she says, "I didn't want to do this, Jade. I really didn't. But you let me no choice. Once I let you wake up, you killed a few of my guards. Shit, you almost killed me, in fact. You caught me by surprise. Now, let's see how you will be after, let's say, a couple of days without food, water. Let's see how you will beg me to let you go. Then, once you comply to me, I'll let you out of those restraints and you'll go to the regular cells like the rest of the conduits, as you still see Jade's pure hatred in her eyes, as she squints her eyes a little bit, as she says, "Never. I will never bow to you nor anyone." As Augustine says, "Fine, do it the hard way." As she walks out with the two guards, as the two guards lock the door. As we see Jade just looking at the door, staring at it, then thinking back on her parents. As you see a tear stream down her face, as she says, "I will never forgive you, Augustine. I will never forgive you." As you see her silently weeping. As she thinks back on when she was running up the buildings out of trying to escape the DOP officers. As once she finally how should I say, escaped the helicopters and the DOP agents, she found she was running inside some alleys. She found an alley where she will meet her parents going down the road. As she runs at the very end of the alley, just waiting for the perfect moment to intercept her parents' car and get into it. As she hears a car in the distance and some gunfire, she smiles as the car gets closer, as she runs and she turns into pure neon energy. As you see her in the car at the exact moment in the alleyway. Not really the alleyway, as it moves right beside the alleyway. As the back window is opened, as you see Jade in her pure neon form go through the window. As she runs and gets in the window, and you see her sit right beside her mother, as she was pretty fast, so it was a new move that she has been trying to perfect, trying to run so fast in her neon form where she's able to get into a car. It could really help in multiple situations. As she was able to get into the car, as she's sitting right beside her mother, as her mother smiled as she says, "Hello, my daughter Jade." As we see the car get into a few alleyways, dodging and waving all the DOP cars and helicopters, getting into some shady areas. That's because Jade isn't in their neon form anymore, or isn't running. They won't see the after effects anymore. As they are, how should I say, driving and dodging and weaving, pretty much. That's all I can really say. As we see Jade and her mother talk, as Jade says, "Mom, I honestly don't know what to say. I have the best parents in the world. Any other parents would have sold me off once they learned I was a conduit. Why didn't you and Dad? I understand y'all's reasoning that y'all don't believe that conduits are all bad, but just why? As we see Jade's mother, Inko, and Hisashi look at her, and they look at each other and look back at Jade as they have a warm smile on their face. As they say, because you're our daughter, and we love you dearly, we won't sell our own daughter off. Plus, you are the next in line for our businesses. We can have our successor get sold off. You are our greatest achievement. Jade, we love you with all our hearts. We will do anything for you, our daughter. We will even go to hell and back for you, baby girl, as Hisashi said. As you see him pull out a pistol, as he says, even though I don't know much on weapons and shooting, I will do my best for both of y'all. I will try to protect you the best I can. As Jade asks, so where are we going, Dad and Mom? As they say, we're going to our second base. We can stay there for a little bit of time. Hopefully no one has found out about it. Most likely no one has found out about our second base. There's no way that they had the time to find out about it already. As Jay just smiles as he says, okay. As we cut back to the current time, as we see Jade locked up, as we see the flashbacks, everything going light speed in flashbacks, her and her parents going into the hideout, the DUP agents, Augustine, her parents getting shot and killed, and Sebastian getting beat up to a pulp. As Jade is having a nervous breakdown right now, as she is having PTSD at the moment from all the from that incident, as she's breathing in and out, as she's calming down a little bit, as she squints her eyes, as she says, I will kill you, Augustine, and that's a promise. As we switch back to Ida, as we see Ida and Sebastian, as Sebastian is now training Ida on his powers, the best to his abilities, from what he can tell from young Mrs. Powers and others that he has and from other conduits that he has found throughout his life. Their powers are quite similar. They all have a super, they all have side powers. They all have this. Now we see Sebastian sweating his ass off. Well, the same could be said with Ida, but on a much higher level. Sebastian says, "Young sir, you are getting there, but you're making small progress, and that's good." As Edith says, small progress. Small progress. I need to save her. I need to do something. Something that will help us. If we all don't want to be freaking taken away, I need to help my fellow conduits. And most of all, I need to save Jade. So, small progress isn't going to cut it. I need to do better. I as Ida is trying to say something else as he gets cut off. As Sebastian says, Ida, calm down. First, worrying about young Miss isn't going to help the situation that we are in. It's better enough that all of the conduits are getting rounded up and taken. And they're not just doing it here. They're doing it all around the world. They're doing a worldwide swoop of conduits. Though there are some countries that have disapproved of the DOP's methods and banned the DOP from entering. As he says, they could be a few safe areas from the DOP. One is in Texas, the other one is in Spain, and another one is in Germany. Those are the three places that has disbanded the DOP. I don't know if there's any more. Those are the only ones I've found that disapproved of the DOP's methods. Completely banned them from entering their country. As we see Ida. Oh, that's a upside, I guess. But everywhere else, how are we going to get to those countries? Everywhere else is going to be hard to get to Texas, freaking Spain, or even fucking Germany. How are we going to enter those fucking states? We got to do a road trip. That's the best way we could go. We can't go from the airport because they have DOP agents all around the airport making sure that no conduits, or he says in parentheses with his fingers, bioterrorist, to enter the airports and try to get to another country. They are really guarding the airports, the airport lines with those three countries. They're guarding those the most. As Ida just sighs as he says, this is gonna be a fucking road trip from hell. Once we free whoever we can free from the closest DOP base. We need a few other we need other conduits to help us. We can't just have you and me, Sebastian. As Sebastian says, I already know. I wasn't going to suggest doing something so outrageous and stupid like that. I already have a few people in mind. As we see Ada ask, who are they? We need to do this as soon as possible before they can run up any more conduits and do God knows what they're doing to them. As he says, yes, you're right. We need to do it fast, but we can't play this dumb. We gotta do this smart, Ida. It would take a little bit of time to round these conduits up. And for those that don't know their powers well, we need to train them. We need this done right. As Ida says, okay, fine, we'll do it your way. So who are these people that you have in mind? As Sebastian smiles as he says, first up, as he brings out a few folders. As I didn't say this before, as during that free time, the few hours that I said earlier, is now days. So Sebastian and Ida have found, a base that is off the records that the DOP agency hasn't found. As they mistakenly went to one of their bases that was on the records. That's how the DOP found them, as they honestly didn't think that the DOP would find them this fast. That's why they went to their bases that were on the records, and that was their mistake fully for not being that prepared for the DOP to act that fast. As Sebastian says, as he thinks on this, as he thinks, never gonna make that mistake again. As they're in that base, as we're in an office inside the base, as you see Sebastian pull down one folder, as Ida picks it up as he opens the folder, as his eyes went wide at the first photo on there, as it says Koski Bakugo. Power. Smoke. Has been found by the DOP a couple of times and has escaped a couple of times as well. At the moment, he is currently on the run from the DOP. Sebastian says, as Ida nods, as he turns another page, as it says, Fetch Walker. Her power is neon. As Ida is currently confused, as he says, Fetch Walker? Isn't that... Yes, that is young Mrs. last name. And apparently, they are cousins. As Ida is stumped. He is even more confused as he says, she has a cousin, and they have the same power. As Sebastian says, I just found this out before the incident happened, and we were me and her parents were going to tell her that they found her cousin, which they didn't even know that they had. But they do. But this whole fucking shit show happened, so we can't tell her now. We'll probably be able to tell her later. As Ada nods. As Ada turns another page, as another page says, Delsin Row. Power unknown. There isn't much known about this Delsin Row. All we know is that the DOP is very interested in him, and they want him very badly. He is one of their top cases, and he is a new found conduit. As Ida just nods, as he turns another page, as it says, as Ida sees another photo of a very young girl, as Ida says she doesn't have a last name, as Sebastian nods as he says she is a orphan, so of course she doesn't have a last name. Her name is Airy. Her power is glass. As he says glass, as Sebastian nods, as it is a very powerful power. It is very powerful. She is a high level threat to the DOP. Let's hope that we can find her before the DOP finds her. As once she, how should I say, found her power, and she was too young at the moment because she was a orphan, so she showed her powers, and since then the DOP tried to take her, but very quickly she caught on what her mistake was. So she's been on the run ever since. As Ida says, she's just a middle schooler. She nods. So she's been on the run since she was a child. As Sebastian nods. As he turns a page again. Sebastian says, This one is quite an interesting case. Himiko Toga. Her power is blood. She is a very, very high risk person from the DOP. She is very dangerous. All she has to do is cipher a certain amount of blood out of someone's body, and she can control that blood. She herself can turn into that person's blood. As she has made quite a name for herself. The Vampire Queen. As Ida chuckles, the Vampire Queen, really? As he nods, Sebastian nods as he says, they have taken her quite a few times. She has been in and out. of the DOP system. As the first time she was taken by the DOP, she had no idea what her power was. But magically, once she got or escaped, she learned quite a bit about her power and has been killing the DOP agents quite a bit. So I have quite an idea of what the DOP does to their subjects or their prisoners. As Edith asks, they train them. As he says, they train them to be soldiers, to be weapons of war. As Edith gulps, as Sebastian nods, as he says, yes. They are training y'all to be weapons of war. And once you are not, how should I say this correctly, in any more need, they dispose of you. As Ida starts to get a little angry, they dispose of us once they don't need us anymore. As Sebastian nods, as Ada is very angry. So we are nothing but weapons to these monsters. As Sebastian just nods. They deserve to be discarded, put away, and never remembered. They need to be destroyed, dismantled. As Edith says, as he turns another page, as there's no more, as he says, that's all you have? As Sebastian says, that's all I have for now. These are the people that we will need to find and take before the DOP takes them or discards them. Either way, we need to find them first. As Ada nods. As we skip, I'm gonna say a week later. As we see Jade in the same confined room as she has been in, and she is, you can tell she had no ounce of sleep, and she has been tortured thoroughly throughout the whole week. She has been beaten. She has been tested. That's what they call it, testing. They have been testing her. Now she has seen so much shit throughout this whole week. As you see the bags under her eyes. As you can see the blood covering her on her clothes. Or what she has now is a straitjacket. As they confined her to a straitjacket. With confines of around her arms, metal confines around her arms to stop her powers, and chains to stop her from moving from her place. As she is kind of out of it at the moment, as her eyes are focusing and unfocusing. As that is where I'm going to end this episode. I hope you all have a good day or night, wherever your time zone is. And my monster family, I hope you all have a good day or night. I just said that, but yeah, I hope you all have a good day. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace out, motherfuckers.